welcome to another edition of Boardman Outlook. I'm Boardman Trustee Tom Costello with Trustee Brad Calhoun and fellow Trustee Larry Moliterno. Our program today is very special to all of us. We're honoring, recognizing our longtime police chief, Jack Nichols, who will be retiring at the end of the year. Jack, today's show is, what do you think after 40 years working for Boardman Township?
Yeah, it's been great, Tom. It's like everybody says to me, thank you for your service. And really, I'm the one that should be thanking the township for giving me a great career over 40 years. I mean, I think back, I got hired January 3rd, 1978. And I've worked every day since then. I've never missed a paycheck since then. I've been given the opportunity to be promoted and rise up through the ranks. Certainly not because of me. It's because of the organization, because of the whole township actually, that I've been given the opportunities that I have, and I'm very much grateful for that. I'll never lose sight of that. It's really not so much what I did, it's what the township and the organization has done for me.
Well, 40 years, that's quite a long time. And the other day you kind of told a story a little bit about your first day, and that even after all these years, you never lost the idea that how much your parents were probably worried about you that day. And I'm sure that's, as you've gone on to chief, I'm sure you appreciate that same thing for all the other officers that we have out there.
Oh, I do. The job of being a police officer has changed drastically since 1978 when I began. It is so difficult anymore for these young guys, and the guys that we have are so good. I mean, I pull up on a traffic stop with them, I watch what they do, and they are just so professional and so they do such a great job, and it's highly technical. When I first started, the law that governs drunk driving was 4 sentences long, and now it's 20 some pages, and they basically have to know that 20 pages of law inside and out to be able to just do something as simple as make a drunk driving arrest. So they're highly proficient. They're very technically good on computers and the equipment and the invention of the cell phone. Everything they do anymore, somebody is recording it with a cell phone, and everybody wants to challenge and take issue with the decisions that they have to make in a split second. So I'm very proud of the officers that we have at the police department and all of the officers in the whole area and the country, actually. The job they do is just absolutely amazing.
In the 8.5 years that you've been chief, I know I've been here for 8 of those years, as we both have, all 3 of us have partaken in your police chiefness. And what was some of the biggest things, I guess, in those 8 years as chief that you're proud of your accomplishments?
One thing that happened, and I think it happened at the direction of the board of you gentlemen, is we have really kind of redone our relationship with the schools. And I feel like Boardman Township, the police department and the township and the school district have become very closely aligned. We work very well together. Everybody's on a first name basis. We're able to go back and forth with the school system and work to the benefit of the schools and the township. And I'm real happy with that relationship that we've been able to establish as the administration of the police department and the township. The 911 upgrade, it's something that the general public doesn't really see. It would be nice maybe if one day the BSTN could come into dispatch and maybe film a 15 or 20 minute segment. But basically with the wisdom of the board here, we combined with Austintown about 5 years ago, and that combination has recently brought in Mahoney County. So with a very few exceptions, most of the county is now benefiting from the seed that was planted by this board 5 years ago. And again, it's very highly technical, it's very complicated stuff, but it really works to improve the safety of the whole county. So,
well, I know that I'm going back at the point when we named you chief, and I remember it was a time where we'd gone through some difficult times financially as a township. There was a lot of layoffs in the police department. I think it's safe to say that the morale wasn't all that great within the police department, and I think a lot of that, with the police chief that had been in place prior to you. I'm being honest about that. And I think when you came in, it was a very difficult time, a very challenging time. But I will say, I think you were the perfect person at that time to come into the department, because you regained the confidence of the rest of the staff. I think that they trusted you, and I think it just was the beginning of a great turnaround that we've had over the last 8.5 years.
Well, thank you, Larry. In 2008, we had lost 35% of our department. And we had gone from 64 officers down to, I believe, 45 or 46 officers, plus our support staff essentially disappeared. And when this board came into being, one of the goals was to rebuild the police department. And together we've managed to do that. We just had an officer resign recently, and our numbers are now down to 61, I believe. But shortly after the first of the year, I know Todd, the new police chief, will be coming to you to add 1 or 2 more officers to replace those that have left. So I'm really proud of the way that it was rebuilt, and the quality of the people that we've brought in to rebuild it is, again, just outstanding.
Well, the whole department is a reflection of you.
Yeah.
And, because I see them out there in the community, I see people in the community always mentioning, their interaction with the police, and it's always positive. I think, matter of fact, we just got an email just recently from someone that, again, wanted to say even though they had done something wrong, and that's, as you have said, anytime you interact with the police, it's usually something's gone wrong. And all the positive interactions, and I think, your demeanor has spread throughout the department. And, we appreciate that, and we look forward to, what the department has to go. Where do you see our department heading under new Chief Todd Worth?
Well, back 8.5 years ago when we all started to work together, you guys left me with some pretty clear direction of where you wanted the department to go, and you wanted the elderly to have some extra attention. You wanted the schools to have some extra attention. And then our number one big law enforcement problem, the drug problem, you wanted that addressed. And so I really appreciated that clear direction that came from the board. It wasn't just go out and do a good job. You basically laid out a path for us to follow. And I know this board, I know you gentlemen, and I know you're going to do that for Todd Worth, the incoming police chief. And if you just give him the clear direction, he'll find a way to get the job done. And I think that's part of the teamwork that has made us successful in Boardman for the last 8.5, 9 years. So.
Well, it is a team, and the 4 of us have worked so well together. But what these gentlemen have said, the way you've taken the department, and just the way your professionalism, your let's just go out and get the job done and let's be safe, has resonated, I think, through our entire community. And I know on my behalf, and I think on behalf of Brad and Larry, we're so appreciative of that tenure that you've done. Larry, you're right. When you became chief 8.5 years ago, we were struggling as a community at that time. And I think the ship was a little on the rocky side. And you helped be a part of stabilizing our community and taking the department, as you said, from 45 or 46 officers back to where we're at now, which is what we need to keep everybody safe and to keep our citizens safe and all the people that visit our community. I know you've seen a lot of changes, but I want to thank you.
Well, thanks, Tom. But, and I would tell the people that listen, it's not just me. I have some resources here, and I say this frequently, that the schools are a big part of the community, and when I have an issue or a problem or a question that deals with the schools, I pick up the phone and call Brad. When I have a question about the business end of police work, I have a business owner, Tom Costello, here that I can pick up the phone and call Tom. And when I have a question about the biggest problem plaguing our community now, which is the drug problem, I can pick up the phone and call Larry, who is the CEO of the biggest addiction treatment provider in Mahoney County. So my job has actually been pretty easy because of the resources that I have.
Well, I have to say this, and I think we want to let the folks out there know that when we do things like this, and we did have a nice party for Chief Nichols, he hates that. Hates the attention that he gets. Doesn't like the accolades. But I think one of the reasons why is that, and when I've gotten to know of you in the last 10 years that I've been around, is that not only have you done a great job as a police chief, you were a great officer, but I think most important is because of the kind of man that you are and the kind of friend that you've become to all of us, because everything about you is genuine and it's real, and that's what people see when they get to meet you and get to know you. So that's what I appreciate.
Thanks, Larry.
No, I ditto everything that was said, and I appreciate it, and I know that you will be a phone call away if we need something now.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, we hope the very best for you in your retirement. That starts in another week or so. And Todd Worth will be sworn in, I believe, on October 28th for
December 28th.
yeah, I don't know where I come up with October. December 28th for anybody that'd like to stop in and 5:30 on that evening to watch Todd get sworn in, and that'll be a big transition for our police department. And I think it's the path is smooth.
Hopefully it is, yes.
Jack, once again, on behalf of Boardman, thank you so much for all you've done for us.
Thanks, Tom.
We'll see you next month.